Nirilim says few words, and even fewer words are spoken of the children of dust. You are quite the exception. Nirilim would not mention you unless there was some pressing matter of fate. You should speak with the one and learn of what has been foreseen. Chosen by the Summer Court, I serve as one of many tenders to Nirilim. Occasionally I'm privileged enough to hear the wisdom of the great tree itself. Nirilim is wiser than King Tatarian, and older than memory itself. Nirilim's words of wisdom carry much weight with the Summer Court. We care for the tree, making sure it grows strong and true. But we are more than just simple gardeners. It is an honor to be one of the chosen who meditate in the shade of Nirilim's wisdom, cultivating and bonding with its spirit. Go with wisdom.
Careful where you tread, for these grounds are sacred.
She sought to bring the light of truth, to save a village plagued, to find a cure for them, her quest, the Maid of Windermere, her test. She faced the evil maid enraged, she trembled with her wrath. Undo your evil magic now, or I will end this tale, I vow.
Come closer, little curiosity. The curious one seeks a way to the Fae, but it has found its way to the boughs of the World Tree instead. Rest, Quickling, and I may study you. Look around you, and I am all that you can see. My roots spread across Dalantarth. My leaves read the winds from Frostbrine Coast to Alabastra. My family and I circle this world. We were saplings when your kind emerged from the dark, and we will grow with you until this world burns once again. My roots spread wide and deep, and I have heard what brought you here, but I cannot see where you go hence. The time of the Fae is passing. I must shelter them in their twilight and protect them from the corruption that spreads in their kin to the east. The gardens of fate are clear to me, and all that ever shall be are visible in its blooms. Issa's end has always been certain. Buried beneath Prismere blades, I can only hold back the tide. But you, perhaps you can change the currents. Where you tread, you mark all you touch. Before I would help you, I must know. Will you be a kind gardener, or a careless reaper? Like all quicklings, you are eager to act. I would rather see the method of your action. A tribe of trolls has been corrupted with Prismere. Their matriarch, Nash, has united the clans in the first step on the path of Dalantarth's demise. You can change this fate, but to what? In doing so, you may awaken a more dangerous threat, like your ally, Aelin Shear. She walks a deep and tangled path, one that you walked alongside her before your death. But your path is your own now. Defeat Nash. Remove the taint of Prismere. Then I shall see who you are. If not, who you will become. The last great Fey city. At once the birth of their dream, the throne of their great realm, and the deathbed of their kind. In thanks to High King Titarian, my bows stand vigil over their city in their twilight. Only by my leave may visitors see them in their weakness. To creatures of flesh like yourself, Prismere is a powerful tool to creatures of pure magic, like Tuatha or trolls. Prismere is so much more. To them, it is a curse, a blessing, and a rapture all in one. It drives them and consumes them. And to the weak-willed, it corrupts them utterly. I am as world trees have ever been since the dawn of time. I watch, I understand, and I remember. The troll matriarch. Prismere has corrupted her, making her cruel, cunning, and far more ambitious than her brethren. She bears the marks of the Tuatha, and she shares their murderous intent. The fates of quicklings are very simple. Growing, consuming, expanding, dying, and always rushing predictably along your paths. You are unique among them. You decide your own direction. But does that mean you will choose anything different? Like the sun in the sky, they knew me when I was a sapling, and they will know me when I rot. But they will never know change, nor how to save themselves from their patterns. Only one Fae has ever truly changed, and he now leads an army to destroy your kind. Aelin Shear is a mystery and a simplicity. She is focused in a way few quicklings are. Her dedication is true, but I do not know the cause. Together you have walked dark paths beneath my boughs. You knew one another before your death, or thought you knew each other. The troll matriarch and her brood await at Haxi. Their corruption burns my roots and threatens our future. Nash and her brood draw a bloody line. I can no longer ignore the quicklings like your kind, who rush through the world, ever anxious, ever eager, ever evolving, but never changing. Fools who hack at my roots and burn, and sometimes sages who hang from my branches and learn. Walk your path and watch your ally.
I thought I'd find you here. That damned tree sent me. He has roots and branches all through the forest, but I was so hoping you'd be enough of a distraction for me to pass unnoticed. He said we should walk this path together. Thought I could help you, or maybe that you could help me. The gardens of Issa, home of the Summer Fae, once spread from the forests of Dalentarth. across the plains of Erethel, and even through the deserts of Ditir. Between the madness of the war and the spread of man, Alfar, and Nome, the Summer Fae lose a little more ground every day. A tragedy for them. I've never met Nash. Trolls and Darkwolfar rarely invite each other to tea. But if she's matriarch of a clan, you can be sure that she's strong. And if she's so corrupted that Nerelim is nervous about her, then she must pose a bigger threat than most trolls. Let's not keep Nash waiting. Trolls aren't normally this well organized. Even the biggest clans never built dens this deep. What's Arthur doing here? No more delays. If these trolls ever went on a rampage, they could destroy half of Dalentar. There's a time to talk and a time to be on your way. Looks like the Tuatha have been working here for a long time. If they've come this far inland, we're all in grave danger. Nice work. I see you haven't forgotten how to handle yourself in a fight. Still, this is bad. I didn't think the Tuatha would reach this far. At least not so soon. Obviously, the Tuatha have bigger plans than just killing you. Infusing the trolls with Prismere, trying to bring the war to Dalentar? Nerelim was right to be concerned. To the contrary, until you came along, she was destined to rampage across Dalentar, at least, if you believe Nerelim. Go, talk to the tree. I'm sure he'll let you into Issa now. I'll finish off any Tuatha hiding in this den. You can tell the old mossy log yourself. I'll be tracking down any other Tuatha that may have come this far west. I'll find you again when the time is right.
return, and in your wake, Dalentarth blossoms. The flow is rearranged, now and forever. Nash's brood is at an end. You have destroyed what was written and made a new fate for Dalentarth. Even your darkest ally walks a lighter path. And yet the Tuatha still spread, marching with Prismeer and pain. You have only delayed our doom. You have the power of an immortal, and yet the humility to ask for help. Little one, I envy your grace. You shall carry my blessings with you. You must know this, Quickling. The age is changing. Immortals are passing, and the future belongs to the young races. If there is a future to be had. Go, and stand at the heart of the She. There you will find Issa, and perhaps you will find wisdom as well. Nash and her brood would have spread across Dalentarth and brought the taint of Prismeer with them. So it forever was to be, until you set about to stop it. Only the path of your own choosing. Stand at the heart of the She, and if that path includes the gardens of Issa, I shall allow it. May your path be long and evergreen.
of late, I've seen more in one.
Welcome to the Gardens of Issa, home of the Summer Court and the warm heart of the Feylands. It is a rare occasion for us to welcome a child of dust into Issa, but it is equally rare that Nerelim chooses a champion. Pleased to meet you. I am Chancellor to the High King. I pray you enjoy our hospitality. Truly a place of wonder, as it has always been and always shall be. Here springs the life well of Dalentarth, and the greater Feylands in all directions. It is a pity that some of our kind have fallen to such degenerative states, but we cannot shed a tear for their weakness. Too many mortals misunderstand the Winter Court. Our cold cousins are not evil, but merely evoke the darker truths of nature, from subtlety to decay. Perhaps it makes sense that children of dust are put off by those who embody their inevitable death, but it is regrettable that so many are misunderstood. The ranks of the Fey were not always sullied by the presence of anything so coarse as the Tuatha. Once, the Summer and Winter Courts existed in harmony. But Gadflow perverted the Winter Court with talk of his new god, and from that poison, the Tuatha arose. We are the Summer Court, the very embodiments of courage, honor, and all things bright and proud. Some envious few in the Winter Court would call us arrogant and self-righteous, as well as all manner of other epithets. But remember, we are the ones who stayed true to tradition, while they turned to barbarism. The Tuatha find new recruits from our ranks. The sapling of the World Tree bears centuries of great wisdom. Of course, long-lived as Nerelim is, it is still regrettably mortal. Even all greatest mortal wisdom cannot compare to the perspective given by true agelessness. Begging your pardon, of course. High King Titarian is Lord of the Summerfey, the font of all our wisdom, and first amongst the immortals. And since Gadflow tragically murdered the High King of the Winter Court, Titarian is the greatest and last true leader left of our kind.
Greetings.
Mortals are made for warfare.
Watch your back.
codex before him, and he will continue. His Immortal Majesty Titarian will see you now. You have nothing to fear in His Majesty. He has entered a reverie. It will allow him to unravel the memories and visions contained within the codex. Step forward, and His Majesty will reveal what you wish to know.
It's been a long... I heard about Haxley. Impressive.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers, treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new. And you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you? The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. You are intertwined with the power in the East. There can be no doubt of that. Your energy reaches back to Alabastra. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer and the fate of this world. I thank you, and perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness. You are right. No one can force this upon you. Such is the true power of freedom. But the Tuatha and their god will continue to seek you out, and they will find you. When they do, know that while you may be unbound by fate, death can find you still. To fight it, you must assemble allies. Seek their aid to assemble your forces. Only then can you hope to resist the forces arrayed against you. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost. The summer and winter courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fey who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismere upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece, the edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original?
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours. Old Fomorous Hughes, of course. If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around, and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes. All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes. Beautiful city, isn't it? You can see why they don't like letting most mortals in. Even the best of us make it look like a mess by comparison. You know the Summer Court in Issa? Well, the Winter Court are their darker siblings. They're not evil, but they're definitely not nice. He once offered me an honorary knighthood after I slayed the Dream Eater of Amora. He was quite gracious when I turned him down. You're not the only one on the hunt for Hughes. Octien has followed his trail to the Hollowlands in Detir. You'll want to talk to him.
Who would have thought you were so interesting? Death seems to have worked out very well for you. Agarth's looking for escape. Nerelim's looking for a savior. And Tatarian is looking for a champion. And somehow, you're giving everyone what they want. I'm impressed. You're right. This won't be easy. The Tuatha have our forces under siege at Mel Senshir, and their power has only grown over the years. You'll need more help than just me and that old Fate Weaver. You'll need an army. A few years ago, one warrior could have slipped past unnoticed, but stealth is no longer an option, not even for me. But there is hope. In the plains of Erethel there waits a player who has been away from this game for far too long. It is time to contact General Talera. Meet me in the village of Emer, and I will tell you everything. General Talera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan, but a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs. Be on your way.
They gone? Tell me, stranger, have you seen a young man lost in these ruins? Maybe with two lovebirds who can't take their eyes off each other. I will not settle for the fate of common living. There is treasure in these ruins. I will find it and retire to the life of comfort I deserve. We thought we'd find peaceful ruins flowing with forgotten gold. No, it's just sprites and brambles and blathering fae. When we lost Turin, Marga and Arain wanted to go off on their own. Fine by me, I knew what they were after. They weren't any help anyway. Did you meet that impossible fae, droning on about flowers and seasons? I don't think he heard a word I said to him. Yes, Turin. We were separated while exploring the ruins. I need to find him. They're my friends? We came into these ruins together, but I wonder if any of us will get out again. I'm sure he's fine, but if you do find Turin, please send him this way. I need that damned scroll of his. It's nothing. A contract of sorts. This venture was supposed to fill our pockets with coin. Now I'd count us wealthy if we all make it out alive. One moment he was beside us, and the next he was gone. It's just like him, the big oaf. I should have known not to bring him along. My friends and I were separated while exploring the ruins. I especially need to find a young Almain named Turin. He has a scroll that I need. And if you do find him... No sign of Turin. What a nightmare.
The season is upon us. The time of the flowering is come. Yet I fear there'll be no ceremony, no flowering, no joy. The flowering is our ballad, Bodril's and mine. But he has not returned, so cannot play his part. Our story cannot be relived, cannot be retold. I do not understand how this could be. When the time of the flowering draws near, Bodril arrives. It's then we set to work, he in his way and I in mine. Only this time, he's delayed. He has not come. Yes, you might call it that. But I say, our woods, our streams, our ancient stones, we are theirs as much as they are ours. Every new leaf in Boggart's dance I see brings joy to my heart, but nothing equals my joy at the flowering. Why, it is the finest, most miraculous thing. It is... No, there is no worthy description. But alas, Bodril has not returned. With no one to play his part, I fear it is not to be. I asked the mortal maid for help, but she refused. I have resigned myself to sorrow. Why, Bodril is... Well, he always returns to take part in the flowering. Only now the season has come, but he has not. Why, I cannot say. She was looking for one of her kind. I asked if she would help with the flowering. I was very patient. I explained that the ceremony was far more important than her lost friend, but she would not have it. Mortals. Go. He has returned to the great cycle, of course. He gives himself to the flowering, and the ceremony is complete. Then I rejoice. Bodril's first task, your first task, I mean, is to gather the chrysalis. The chrysalis are seeds of sorts. You'll find them throughout the woods. When you've gathered them, seek me in Brunwath Hollow. She came in search of things. A mortal boy, some ancient fragments. I do not pretend to understand the thoughts and workings of mortals. That task was Bodril's. They spread throughout Lorca Rain. Of that I'm certain. There is more to mortals than I had thought.
can't believe Turin's dead. But I can't dwell on that now. Thank you for returning this scroll to me. You have no idea how important it is. Please, I can't. I need to think clearly. I have things I need to do in this forest. Afterwards, later, I'll sort it all out. Everything's ruined. Turin's lost and Jedda's gone off. And Orain's been turned into an antelope. Turin dead? And here I was fretting over Orain? This is an awful mess. Why did we ever follow Jedda's ridiculous scheme? Well, you know. My mother said Varani's men's hearts forever wander, but not my Orain. Oh, no. To be honest, I don't really want to find treasure or be rich. I just want to settle down on a farm somewhere with Orain and raise lots of children. Why did he have to follow his friends to this cursed forest? I wish we'd never listened to Jedda. No treasure's worth this. Orain went into those bushes. I heard a yell and saw a flash of light. Then an antelope came out wearing Orain's silver necklace. My grandmother told me about places like this, how sprites would ensnare young men and turn them into forest creatures. I just know that's what's happened to Orain, but he ran off before I could catch him. Please help me look for him. Absolutely. My grandmother told me all about it. One story tells of a man who entered the forest seeking a special flower for his beloved, but a sprite cursed him to wander the forest as an antelope until his true love gave him a kiss. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done. The antelope, Orain, I mean, he ran off north into the ruins. You have to find him. My grandmother told me all about them. There was once a man who entered the forest in search of a special flower for his beloved, but a sprite cursed him, and he was forced to wander the forest as an antelope until his true love gave him a kiss. ran north before I could catch him. I called and called, but he didn't come back.
Help! Get me out of here! Please! You have to open the cage! The Jotun filled up on that antelope. But I don't like the way the big one was looking at me. I've been roaming the world since I was a child. Settling down just isn't my fate. A beautiful girl and great fun to be around. At first. Then she starts talking marriage and children. I'm not ready for that. Jeddah went on about all the treasure we would find here. All I've seen are Jotun in trouble. The large one kept biting into the antelope and then grinning at me. I'll never want to see another Jotun for as long as I live. Of course not. You believe that too? I just need... Marga has gotten a little too attached for my taste. Just my rotten luck that I stumbled into a bunch of Jotun. Can you get me out of here? Sweet girl, but wants a little more dedication than I'm ready for. I needed to get away. She'd go on about these stories her grandmother used to tell her. About creatures turning people into animals. She believed them, so there was my way out. I didn't reckon on getting captured by Jotun, though. Thanks. I owe you one. Do me a favor. Don't tell Marga you saw me. Thanks again.
Chrysalis. Each and every one. You are as a second Budrill. I will prepare for my part while you plant the seeds. Place one on each earthen mound around this space. Do you see where? Good. Look around this space. For each seed there is a mound along the edge. Place one in each so that I may begin. Leave and go in peace, young one. Now, stand on the platform so that we can... Why do you remain? That's not how the ceremony goes. You were supposed to give yourself to the sprites, as Bodril always did. Instead, look at them. You've killed them all. Of course they were. What else would they be? So lovely they're flowering. Had they lived, they would have spread through vale and hill a lustrous fluttering of wings and tails and claws. This I had not considered. Mortals forever perplex me. You are not Bodril, so I must make allowances. Very well. Although this was not as I hoped, you could only do what fate permits. But since Bodril should be gone, so should you. Leave Brunwath. But first, have this. A gift of the flowering. Never before has Bodril failed to return in the time of the flowering. What can it mean, mortal? Go in peace.
Something's happened, hasn't it? I can tell from your face. Did you find Orain? Well, my parents never did like Orain. I guess I can do better. There was this one boy. Do you really think I'd be better off? You're right. I just want to go home. Thank you. I miss my family. I just want to go home. Why did I follow Orain to this cursed forest? He was always fun to be around, but he never took anything seriously. You're right. I should just head back home.
They were the harbingers of the fall, these children of dust. And they lit the forest with their fires, and then split it with their blades. We crept back, shapeless in the darkness, silent in the trees. But shadows are few in this age of mortals. The light beckons.
Hail, Wanderer. Would you spare a moment? I have a favor to ask you. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around just looking to murder and thieve. Not much to speak of, just another soul wandering the plains trying to get by. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Rathir for travelers. In appearances, perhaps, I'm just an alpha that needs your help. I have a few belongings to sell, and unfortunately, I've done little to endear myself to Aiton's folk. Will you sell them in my stead? The arrangement is simple. I give you an item, and you sell it. I take a cut, you keep the profit. And will repeat until I have nothing to sell. Understand? I thought you had the look of a trader about you. I have several items for you to sell. If you prefer, you could just buy them all now from me and sell them later. As you wish. The items are in acceptable condition, if nothing else, but they might stand a little polish here and there. Take my silverware, for example. It's somewhat tarnished, but Ban Ron could use the metal. If you melted it down, he'd likely pay more for it. I want you to sell it. Ban Ron, the local smithy, will have use for the silver, I'm sure. If you process the silver down to a raw form, he might pay more for it.
Strangers strange come to Aiton. Few come by these roads nowadays. A hard gaze falls on Aiton. Many are the burdens and few are the reliefs. Someone must go to Aiton Circle. Someone must call the Erethel. Though our wheat grows strong, the citizens do not. We sowed a crop that was untimely reaped. We need intervention, lest we end up like Talarain, a monument to nothing, with kobolds and raiders squabbling over our bones. The last remaining farm in the Wolds. There has been much talk of it, how Denrit and Allred Rond have gone mad. Even Finwick refuses to investigate, so wary is he of catching the madness. Hoping to hear a song for coin from Old Nell. I haven't sung for years, stranger, not since the war started. Ratifer. After a decade, he begs me payment for the ring, and so his promise is finally broken. Very well. I should be lucky to die unmarried rather than a widow. A forgotten spot in these plains. The land still bears grain, but few reap the crops they did before the war. Only Ron Farm stands, and Flame has gutted it. The others have fallen into the hands of the freemen, bandits, marauders. A circle of the windstones nearby. When the voices from its stones sing a certain melody, the Erethel will come and end our tribulations. Each stone is a voice in the song. When all have sung in their part, the Erethel will appear. But if not, dark things for these dark times will show instead. The stones. I am unworthy. I do not think they will sing to me. You must go. It must be you. Make the stones sing their song. You will? Ayton Circle is to the south of town. Each stone carries a note of the song. In the right order, they form the song as it was to be sung. But they will not suffer a cacophony. If the songs you play will not call the Erethel, it will call darker things for these dark times. Everyone knows the song. It starts on the highest note and descends down the scale. Wait a moment. Perhaps it was start at the lowest note and descend up. Well, something like that anyway. Flutter away.
Welcome to the smithy. Welcome to the clanging hammer. Don't see many new faces in Ayton these days. My forge is open. Before Talarain fell to ruin, it was Ayton's fields and villagers that stocked and supplied the various citadels there. But the war hit us hard. Bandits plagued the roads. Even Rond Farm has burned to soot. They have been lingering around the wolds. Be cautious on the roads out there. Those freemen like to sneak up on wanderers. It's quiet here, farmland mainly, but between Rond Farm and the freemen, we've got our own worries. I've seen this before. I made these for Retifer, back when he was still lording over us. I suppose the war finally caught up with him. That was good silver if I recall, but I've many other jobs to deal with before I'll get to salvaging it. Fine, here's some coin. Forge is yours whenever you need.
Hello again, stranger. What do you... I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be happy to see such a paltry sum. I suppose the townsfolk are happy on my behalf. But let the past lie. I've another item for you. My kerchief. Slightly, worn, but the material is special. Of the sort alchemists employ for handling reagents. Askelthorin might buy it. He's a stubborn one, but he's weak at haggling. See what you can get out of him. Maybe I was someone once before, when the war was just a small conflagration in Cluricon. But by the time we heard the war front was coming, it had already reached us. And like a fool, I smiled at the opportunity. Askelthorin, the local alchemist, is interested in it. The cloth is normally used for handling sensitive reagents and potions. See what kind of price you can get out of him.
Yes?